Bonjour mes amis, hi guys. We have a beautiful extensive collection to review today, courtesy of Jay living in LA. He's got roots in Hong Kong, knows the city well, has picked up a couple of watches here. He's a big fan of a good watch movement, mechanical complexity. I think he has a scientific or an engineering background. He loves beautiful craftsmanship, execution, and wants watches that, if possible, will keep their value. So naturally has gravitated towards Patek and Lange, but he also looks for value and sometimes has a bit of left field choice in his collection if the watches came at a fantastic price. He's also a meat lover, so I will add a couple of pictures of his creations. I hope one day I will get to bite in one of those if I get to ever visit LA. It's a long list, so I'm not going to read exactly everything he wrote, but you'll see the pictures. They speak for themselves. We have first a vintage Omega, beautiful bumper movement, steel 34mm Seamaster from the 50s, a classic look in great condition, picked up from a watchmaker in Pasadena. You gotta love this one. Looks a lot like the one reissued a couple of years ago by Omega themselves, in a larger format, of course. Next, we have a heavy hitter, the Patek Philippe annual calendar, white gold, blue gradient dial, 40mm, reference 5205G-013. And to give it a more youthful look, Jay put it on an aftermarket sailcloth strap. Great dial symmetry, beautiful sector dial, and the practicality of the annual calendar complication, well, unless you let it run down, in which case you have to use the side pushers, which is not so practical, but a beautiful watch. The other Patek is a small size, 33mm, reference 5026P, a platinum Calatrava Black Millennium Edition dial, very chic, picked up at the Watchbox. Hello to our friends at the Watchbox in Hong Kong, and this one he likes to wear it with a tux. No Rolex dive watch with his tuxedo, and apologies to Sean Connery, the late Sean Connery, but this is the way Jay likes to roll. Then we have three Lange, two manual wine and one automatic. Number one is the Lange one, 101.030 white gold with the discontinued grey dial, 38.5mm, has become quite sought after, very beautiful, picked up 15 years ago in Beverly Hills. So this collection is big, but it has been built up over many years. This explains that. The other manual wine is probably one of the very best, if not the very best, chronograph, the 1815, and in the best configuration, I think, the white gold boutique edition, blue silver dial, 39.5mm, wears amazing. You can't get enough of that watch. What a fantastic piece. The third Lange, because he was a bit tired of winding his Lange one, he got the Daymatic reference 320.025 platinum. Damn, 39.5mm, just a wonderful one. And here the power reserve has been replaced for a day of the week indicator, Wokentag indicator. Jay says the mirror inverse dial layout gives him a kick, and he loves staring at the beautiful 21 karat and platinum engraved rotor. Just wonderful mini Lange collection in this vast collection. Now let's move on to Vacheron Constantin. There is a Patrimony Grande Taille, large size, 85180 reference, rose gold 40mm, manual wine 8.5mm thin. They wear very large, because they're very thin as well. It's a proper rose gold dress watch, very chic, and he likes to wear it with a suit and a brown dress. Oxfords makes him feel very classy, and yeah, don't you love when a watch makes you feel a bit different? And it's great to have different watches, and just makes you feel a bit special on any given day. Loving that. Number 8, we have something a bit more left field for sure. The Ulysse Nardin San Marco GMT, a bit old-fashioned, I would say, on this one. Rose gold, 40mm, automatic big date pusher, adjust travel time. Jay says there's no finer travel watch than this one. I'm not sure everyone will be convinced by this, but if you say so, I'm gonna have to take your word for it. Truly simple hour hand adjustment via pushers and automatic winding makes this reliable. Take anywhere, travel in style, wrist candy, says Jay. He's got a custom blue alligator strap with the factory rose gold UN deployant. Well, let him know in the comments what you think about his UN, but if you love it, wear it proudly. Then we have two Jaquet Droz. I'm guessing in the US you'd call it Jaquet Droz. Jaquet Droz, two Grande Seconde. One is white gold, 43 millimeters, gray and ivory dial automatic. The JDs, says Jay, aren't known for retaining value particularly well, but I love the unique Grande Seconde time display and got this one used at a good price. Yeah, you know, that display reminds me a bit of FP Jaune, and I think some independents also get inspired by this type of display. I quite like them. I always find them fetching, but it's true that from liking them to buying them, there's quite a step that you have taken, because you got another one, the Grande Seconde with the power reserve de marche, black ceramic, 44 millimeter automatic, which he managed to get the serial number 1. Well, maybe they only sold one. I'm just teasing you, Jay. It's a limited edition, modern and scratch-proof version of the Grande Seconde. And he wanted to have the Grande Seconde with a sportier look, and it's under the radar. He says it might be his worst purchase from a watch financial perspective, but he remembers the feeling of joy that he got when he found this at an AD during a Vegas trip, and saw that it was the lucky number 1. Then it was replaced by a feeling of dread, perhaps, when you sobered up. You know, sometimes what happens in Vegas does follow you back home. It might be Jaquet Droz, it might be herpes. All right. Next, 11th watch on the list. We have a Bell & Ross, but not the big square thing. No, we have a rounded one that he picked up right here in Hong Kong. You know my watch safaris in Yo Ma Tei, the Dundas Street. In one of those dodgy little streets, he picked up this one, sort of a pilot style watch. I quite like it, looks good. So it's a vintage 123, 40 millimeters, PVD, the steel. Got a great price on it. It imparted him with a spirit of adventure. It's very legible, and yeah, I quite like it. It's not an expensive one, so you can travel with it. Don't have to worry about it getting stolen or damaged. Love that type of watch. Number 12, Omega Speedmaster triple calendar blue dial. That's a reference 3523.80.00, 39 millimeters. This is his first luxury watch that he got at the age of 23, bought by his grandfather. He picked this one. He wanted something versatile, durable, and something very special for him at the time, and still today, of course. Wonderful gift. I like it. I think it still looks great. More people should look into those triple calendars. Then we get to Rolex. Finally, two Rolex in the collection. We have 116509 Daytona white gold meteorite dial. Love it. I love the meteorite dials of Rolex. It's very particular meteorites that they use, and I think my favorite is maybe the GMT meteorite, but also the Day-Date. Wonderful here, and the Daytona, super. It's his personal favorite Daytona. Of course, it's a quite expensive piece. It's got the heft of gold with the subtle looks of steel, mesmerizing meteorite dial, and pops of red color. Even though he says the current production meteorite Daytona resells for double the price of this one, he much prefers this one because of the red and the Romans. And the other Rolex is a 16264 Chronograph. Love those pieces. Early 2000s, 36 millimeter Roman rhodium dial, steel oyster band with white gold bezel. That was his first Rolex. It's a workhorse that's been never skipping a beat, very comfortable on the wrist. Really super watch. I like it. Then we have a Blancpain from the 2000s, 50 Fathoms Trilogy collection, GMT, 40mm steel, 300 meters depth rating. He says every serious collection needs at least one dive watch, of course, and he wanted one a bit more functional with a GMT, had to be durable, historically significant, robust, and be able to take a beating. This one, he says, keeps excellent time. It happens to be his most frequency stable mechanical watch. What most people call accuracy is for him an engineer and scientist. That's what they refer to as frequency variance. We got very technical. Sorry for the headache, guys. Inside we have a Frédéric Piguet caliber, high horology adjustment at its finest. I can't disagree with that. Next, we have Gerald Genta, retro solo, steel, carbon fiber-esque dial, jump hours, retrograde minutes that looks like a speedometer. I love the look of this watch. Really cool, the Gerald Genta, funky looks. You gotta love this piece. And sometimes, yeah, you look around and you find those forgotten watches with super interesting complications. Jay says this watch exudes racing fun and attracts curious attention from everyone for its avant-garde ways. I've taken this to the Bulgari boutique, and yeah, of course, I didn't know much about it. You can expect them, the average boutique clerk to know about those older references. Bulgari, of course, purchased Gerald Genta. But now, as there are more and more watch guys looking to stray away from the Rolex and Patek Path. That's the type of watch that people love to talk about. Great pickup. 17 and 18, we have two moon swatches. The can I say that? URA and US. He changed the strap on it, and he also picked up the Sun, also with a custom strap. Then we have a Casio Oceanus, the OCW T200S in steel, 41 millimeters, and he finally got the Shunbun Spring Cherry Blossom dial, SBGA 413 Grand Seiko, the same that I purchased. Lovely watch in titanium. I just sold it because I picked up another Grand Seiko afterwards, but it's a great one. So we have a lot of diversity, and as I said, great movements that he loves, but also things off the beaten path. And that's what you want, a lot of fun in the collection. Can't fault you there. There's a lot of things, so it's tough to give a judgment. But, once you have a longer 1815 chronograph, a longer one, and a Patek annual, well, you can't really go wrong afterwards. Maybe don't go too crazy on the fun watches, but I understand that these were bought across many years and through many adventures, and it's great to see the result all together. And the vintage piece is also very nice, the classic Vacheron, very cool. Jay asks what he should buy next. He's thinking Patek World Time on a bracelet. Ooh, heavy hitters on the bracelet, very expensive. Bracelet or not, World Time, that would look very chic. If you can stretch the budget, maybe even get the cloisonné enamel, but any World Time, I really like them. Actually, I don't like the enamel that much, to be honest. I prefer the regular ones, whether small size or the larger size that they did. They all look great. Then, yes, there is one Rolex missing here, is the date, and he's thinking to go big on this one. Platinum, ice blue dial, diamond baguette. You're asking me what I think about it? Sure, go for it. Man, if you can afford it. I love all the dates. Might not be very safe in Los Angeles. Be careful where you wear that. I would keep my shirt over it. Even if it's a platinum, I think thieves have gotten, unfortunately, refined enough to know what that is, especially with the baguettes. Day-date is they're all fantastic. I love pretty much any combination of the day-date, but also the 36 millimeters. Doesn't have to be the brand new 40 millimeter. Yeah, I can't fault you with your choice there. That would look excellent. And thinking maybe perhaps a Cartier Tank Américaine on a bracelet. I'm not sure they do a bracelet for that. I don't really see it. I would rather you get a very fine one. The one I have, look into it, 1736. You want the case back to slide into the top and be held by screws on the side. Those are the finest Cartier. So yeah, to elevate your collection, very fine, a bit rare Cartier with a high horology movement. Of course, look at the CPCP. That's the kind of watch that you would absolutely love. The Tortue, for example, with the famous monopusher made by Jean, who was it? Vianney Halter? I don't remember. The three top watchmakers. He also thinks about an IWC Portuguese chronograph in rose gold. If you get a fantastic deal, okay, don't buy that brand new at the boutique. Don't go get drunk and buy rose gold IWCs. I would say. And he does mention that he almost bought it at an AD in Hong Kong. Please, let's not go crazy. I think you have a good sense of value. I can read through the text that you pay when you have to pay, and you also look for value when you have to when you want the complication and a certain look. And he also thinks about a Vacheron tourbillon, man. Are you digging gold there in California? Man, you must be on a gold mine there to think about Vacheron tourbillon. But by no means, yeah. I'm thinking, subtext here. Why don't you try to get a FP Jaune from the watch box? They have almost the monopoly on that market now. They bought so many of them. Good for them. But yeah, I think FP Jaune would put to rest everything. You'd have a great movement, great looks, and but yeah, that's not going to be cheap. The prices are going to be crazy, so don't go too crazy at the authorized dealers. But I can't say no to a date. Patek World Time, probably the classiest choice, but a Cartier Privé CPCP, that would be also very nice for you who can enjoy the movement. So Jay mentions he will send this same collection to Archie Luxury, help him out, asking for a sponsored review after the terrible misfortune that he had to go through with his collection stolen. So we always love our Paul Pluta, love Archie, and we think about him. So you might see this collection on his channel as well. I'm curious to see what he will think of it. But yeah, thanks Jay so much for sharing your collection. Guys, let him know what you think, which pieces are your favorites, which heavy hitter watch would you add to this collection. And if you want to know his address, I'm not gonna tell you. But I'm looking forward to visit him and have some barbecue with him. All right, guys, hope you've enjoyed this. Thank you, Jay. Thanks, guys. Speak to you in the next one. Bye-bye.